We have too many things to reflect here on the Good Samaritan. And you know, as you go on that road from Jericho to Jerusalem, or back, we'll go on back, there's a house or a place designated to be the place where this took place. But remember, no such thing happened. This is a parable. But it's a good way of remembering the parable as you stop halfway and then you see the area where it might have happened. So it's a good way to remember it. And what a beautiful story here, in which we see that all three people who passed by, what a different story for each one. The priest going down on the road, he had a very good reason for not touching him, because he will become impure and he will not be able to offer sacrifices in Jerusalem. And then the other Levi who came also, if he was already finished doing his duty in the temple and he was coming back and he had already the goods, the meats, and all those from the sacrifice, he couldn't do that. Otherwise, he would have to throw it away. He would become impure again. So they had excellent reasons for not approaching but then this is the Samaritan traveler who came upon him, was moved with compassion at the sight. In other parts of the gospel, especially in St. Luke, he uses the very same word when Jesus sees the crowd and he's moved by compassion. In other words, it's like turning your gut inside out. That's the word. And it's the very same description here of the Samaritan, using the very same description of Jesus' own compassion for us. So they're so filled with so many things in the gospel that they're so attractive, and then it reminds it toward the end, giving us the order: go and do likewise. And I think we should be completely recognized and known for this kind of compassion and mercy, as the church throughout the history has always had the poor in mind. I remember St. Paul, as in his travels, in his journeys, he makes a special collection for the poor in Jerusalem. You can see the church throughout the history of the church in the Middle Ages, building or creating hospitals for the first time in the world. The church, out of mercy and compassion, originates hospitals, what we do have today, and so on. Here today, we have Catholic charities, and each parish is always solicitors for the poor. So you see how this parable of the Lord is everywhere. So because everywhere along the line there are robbers and thieves and those who hurt other people. You were trying to say something, sister.
I was just remembering when I was maybe 8 years old, and I went to Catholic school. I was aware of the fact, that you were supposed to be at Mass on Sunday, every Sunday. And I can remember one Sunday my mother did not go because she was taking care of my younger sister who was sick. And so when we got home, I teased her about missing Mass on Sunday. And her favorite expression to me often was, "Okay, Miss Smarty Pants." And she said, "Don't you know that taking care of the sick and the poor excuses you from that obligation?" And I didn't, so I learned something. But it was the same thing as the scribe and the Pharisee here, or the priest and the Levite, that You know, she was teaching me something, and she always did when she'd say, Miss Smarty Pants. If I listened, I learned something.
And you will notice that in the Gospels, whenever we have those big tensions, it never resolves them. It keeps them both. They're always there and never resolved, so that we're always living with that tension. In the beginning, when the Gospel, it says, he said in reply, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your being, with all your strength, with all your mind. And a beautiful way of saying with total dedication. Huh? Now, when you see Our Lady of Guadalupe, and her description is the mother of the living God who near and far, the otro, and uses all the kinds of descriptions of the Aztec theology and applies them to Mary. So as you hear the totality, the Mother of God, you hear all the same repetition like we do have here, with all your heart, with all your being, with all your strength, with all your mind. What a beautiful description for the totality of it, as well as you hear Our Lady of Guadalupe. One of these days you'll learn all these Nahuatl terms that describe then the divinity. So let us then continue with the Eucharist and remembering this beautiful, beautiful parable. But there is more than a parable. It's something that we have to personalize. And if at the times we feel that there is a conflict when we meet our brothers and sisters in need, it is precisely then you're right there with the gospel. So let the Eucharist then open up to this urgency.